Hey everyone, so I have some questions for the people voting this year, people who are involved with politics, and I have some questions for the Republican candidates and the other candidates in the race. Hopefully, that would be amazing if I get a response, but I hope to get a response from anyone because, I really want to hear some opinions and I want to hear if my questions are legitimate questions and if these are kinds of things that are being asked nowadays. So I have three questions, and I'd like to start off by stating a little bit about myself. I'm not actively involved in politics, but I'm 17, and I will be involved in politics soon in terms of voting, at least. And I think it's important that I get involved so I can do my best job as a U.S. citizen and help my country. And um, some of my information that I discuss in this video may be inaccurate. I'm not really in the best position to be analyzing U.S. politics right now. I'm currently in a different country. If this is the first time you're watching my videos, then you wouldn't know that, but my other viewers may know. So, I have three questions, and I have foots in every kind of political party, so I guess you could call me independent. Question number one. Do you think the Republican candidates are a little too focused on just beating Obama, rather than trying to make themselves the best possible candidate they can be and have the best plan of action in the case that they become president? Um, I know this seems kind of like a silly question, but in watching some of the recent debates, and especially I think it was in Iowa, the GOP debate that happened before I left here for Europe, I noticed one of two things happening when people are answering questions. And I don't know if it was because they knew that they would get an applause from the answer and that the crowd would like it, or if it was because that this is actually how they feel, but when they were asked questions, oftentimes they would just strike down Obama's ideas. And, it makes me think that Republican voters and Republican candidates are focused on just beating Obama, that Republican voters right now are worried about picking the guy who they think has the best chance at beating Obama and not the person who is the best candidate. And I know that's a little weird because most of the time, the best candidate is the one that is probably the most likely to beat the current president. But that's not always the case. I mean, as we all know, in many cases, popularity is a huge kind of thing, and I think some candidates have a bit more popularity than others. So, to repeat the first question, do you think the Republican candidates are a little too focused on just beating Obama rather than actually making themselves the best possible candidate they can be? Question number two. Do you think any of the presidential candidates from any party can actually do a decent job in a divided Congress like now? And this is a really important question to me because um, I think Obama is a good president. Or well, I think he's trying to be. But the big problem is that Obama tries to do something, and the Republican candidates say no. Maybe for one of two reasons. Either A, it's because he's a Democrat, or B, because they don't agree with it because it's democratic. It's based on democratic ideas. And then the Republicans change it around to fit their ideas. And they say, well, Congress, how about this one? And Congress says no. And by Congress, I mean Democrats. Because they disagree because either A, it's Republican, or B, they just disagree with it because it's Republican ideas and their ideas are different. But I find it hard for any president to be able to do a decent job when Congress is as divided as it is. It just doesn't seem possible to me. So, question number 2 again. Do you think any one of the presidential candidates from any party can actually do a decent job in a divided Congress like now? Number 2 is very related to number 3. And question number 3 is, where do you think the line must be drawn in saying, hey, I disagree with this bill or plan or law, but I think doing something is better than doing nothing at all? And this is a difficult question to ask because it's very difficult to word. But what I'm trying to ask is, with the last case, they disagree with this because it's not their bill. But I think America right now really wants to see things get done in Congress. Whether the Republicans disagree with it, I think after a while that Republicans or Democrats or Libertarians or whatever kind of type of person you are would like to see Congress actually pass things and get things done. It blows my mind that the amount of things that don't get done in Congress just because they disagree with it and they disagree with it. And there's a point, in my opinion, that things just have to get done. Like if I were a Democrat, I'd say, well, I disagree with this Republican bill, but man, nothing's gotten done in the past 2 years. I mean, I don't see any hope for our country unless we pass something, And I know it seems weird because you'd be saying, well, if you think it's a bad idea, then why are you voting for it? But I think a lot of Republicans, Democrats really think that the other party has good ideas, but they're going about it in the wrong way. I mean, let's think about this here. Isn't a congressman from any party trying to get the same thing done? They're trying to fix our country and make it great, but they both have different ideas of getting it there. And so as long as one of them is actually doing something to get there, I don't think it matters about how straight the line is, whether it's full Republican or full Democrat, I mean, I don't know. So that's question number 3. Where do you think the line must be drawn in saying, I disagree with this bill or law or plan, but doing something is better than doing nothing at all? So, and again, question number 1. Do you think the Republican candidates are a little too focused on just beating Obama? Number 2, do you think any of the presidential candidates from any party can have a decent success in a divided Congress like now? And number 3, where do you think the line must be drawn in saying, hey, I disagree with this bill, but doing something is better than doing nothing at all? So I hope to get some responses from you guys, and I hope to have a lot of great discussion in the comments and etc. Thanks for watching.